this day.
This is not my favorite day.
We didn't die.
Well, did you die?
So, if you've been with us very long, you know that tornadoes are kind of like a sore spot. And today was severe weather, which normally we're pretty chill about. But then, essentially, there were like, it was tornado warning, and then they were saying there were 3 tornadoes on the ground, and the storm was headed right for us. They were like saying the road that we live on the news. We had the kids in the basement. Thankfully, we don't have any damage. We had a ton of flooding. The area is flooded. Jackson's school bus couldn't run. I had to go drive all the way around to get him from school. It's been a crazy day, but we're so thankful that we're okay. We're gonna walk around the farm, just kind of take a look at everything. Honestly, I didn't get scared until I saw that you were scared.
Well, I didn't get scared until the rain started coming in so sideways that I couldn't see anything out the back door. That's not a good sign.
When you got scared, I got scared. Seriously, like when Maya turned to me and said, get the dogs and go downstairs. Of course, we had the kids in the basement, but when he looked at me and said, get the dogs and go downstairs, I was like, are you serious? And he was just like, go downstairs. When he came downstairs and I saw that he was shaking, and I was like, oh my gosh, is this happening? We have a full basement. I don't ever worry about like our lives, but whenever, you know, everything that you work on in your life is outside and there's absolutely nothing you can do to protect it during a storm, it's pretty heart-wrenching because you're just sitting down there thinking of all the bad things that can happen, and you're just praying. And that's what we did, and thankfully we didn't come up to any damage other than just a ton of rain, and you know, the garage flooded a little bit, but the plants look happy. These do, at least. Look at this. This obviously filled up with water. All of the perlite pulled up on one side. Everything looks okay. I think the squash plant took a pretty good beating. The wind was very, very intense. When the worst of the storm passed and we came up from the basement, Maya looked out back, and of course we're stressed about our animals, you know, being out, and of course they've all got good homes, but Maya looked out and the pigs, you want to tell them?
I looked out back and the 2 girl pigs were literally doing like pig somersaults. I don't know how to explain it. You know, just back legs kicked up and then jumping, and then front legs going, and they were literally just spinning around, dancing in the rain. I'm
talking like torrential downpours.
And chasing each other around and just spinning and jumping. And then I look over and there's a whole bunch of like
leaves
small
down.
Leaves and limbs down in the goat yard, and Miriam's out there just eating them.
In like just
pouring
crazy rain. Just crazy. I'm like, well, I'm glad to see that they're not worried about it.
Yeah, they're not stressed, and you know, do we really have to worry that much?
Since our other rooster was infertile, we've moved him over to the other side of the property where he can kind of just roam free and keep him out of this yard. And we got a different rooster. He's back there, you can see him. It's the new guy. A kind rooster is a hot commodity. And even though the king was shooting blanks apparently based on the big pile of unfertile eggs my broody hen has been sitting on, he was really nice. And so we've moved him over. I didn't want to get rid of him because he's a kind rooster. And they're good to have around. I mean, I like the way that they sound. I don't know, that's just the romantic in me. I love a rooster's crow on the farm. But my friend Lisa, they actually just moved. They lived around the corner from us. And this rooster was the one that she had in her goat barn for the last couple of years. And he's really friendly. So when she was moving, she told me that we could come get him. And I thought, well, that solves our issue. Hopefully he can fertilize an egg a little better than the king could. So what's your plan on clearing these trees? I mean, I guess it's got to stop raining for a minute.
It's not so much that it has to stop raining. Like on a track hoe or an excavator, they're not usually going to get stuck. And you just it'll make a bigger mess.
Yeah.
Mostly it's just been getting to the seed festival and getting everything in the garden ready so I can start committing the time.
Yeah.
But I think we're quickly approaching that.
Look at this. The heavy rain unearthed some potatoes that have sprouted here from last year. Little potatoes, I guess, that got left. Is anyone else just absolutely terrible in shoes? Like, I don't even know why I buy canvas shoes. They're practically disposable. I completely destroy them because I just don't know how to change my shoes to appropriate farm attire, I guess. Can y'all hear the creek running? It's so full. Look at all these happy beans poking out from the soil. Y'all know what I love to see? This moment right here. For some reason, this moment makes me just inordinately happy. It's like I'm seeing a baby gift board in a much less committed sense.
Or less traumatic.
I love seeing babies born. It's not traumatic, it's beautiful. Was it traumatic for you?
Watching that?
So I was like a big natural birth junkie. I don't know if you guys can imagine me being like, yeah, natural birth. I was like all about it. And so Maya and I have gone through that experience together a couple of times, natural birth, and he was awesome, of course, as awesome as you would imagine him to be as a birth partner. And then with Benjamin, I was in labor, and we discovered, like, well into labor, that he was breech, and you know, laws are that they won't let you deliver a breech baby naturally. And so I ended up having to have a C-section with him, my last baby, and that was kind of traumatic. It was actually not a bad C-section as far as they go. It was still major abdominal surgery, but it was still beautiful in a birth. But yeah, I mean, I guess I could see how birth could be a little traumatic from Dad's perspective. I love birth though, like, so much. I used to be a birth photographer, and any time that I get to be in a birth, human or animal, or even experiencing the moment that a seed pops up out of the soil, just does something in my heart. I love it. All right, let's go check on our little goaties. Hey girls. Hey girls, you got a little something, Ness. Got a little something stuck in your teeth. Hey, May. Hey, Mayhem. Miriam's looking a little wet from her little time out in the rain eating fallen leaves. She had to beat everybody else to them. The storm was just knocking all these little branches out of the trees, and as soon as the rain let up, all the girls were out, just like so excitedly eating the leaves that had fallen. So here are our little bottle babies. Excited to see me because I think I have food for them, which I don't. It's not quite time yet, guys, for dinner. Are they cute or what? Look at those airplane ears. Actually, I think the doeling may be lightening up a little bit. The boy, he's very, very white. She still has just a little bit of cream to her. They're so pretty though. So our friends from Stiver's Homestead are gonna be here tonight. I don't know, I think that they're running on time. Actually, Zach is hilarious about making good time when they travel. Like one time, he was talking about it, I think he was on one of their lives, and he was hold on. So he said about drinking water.
He told you this.
No, he said it on a live. He said, at this point when I say it, you're gonna be like, that's not that funny. Sometimes things just tickle me, and I just think it's the funniest thing. He was talking about making good time on a road trip, and he was talking about how some people get in the car and they're just sucking down their drinks, and he's like glaring at him, and he was like, you just take a drink and wash it around in your mouth. Is that not that funny? I think that's funny.
I don't understand what he said.
He said you don't drink a bunch of your drink because you got to make good time on the road trip, so you can't be having a bunch of bathroom breaks. So you just take a sip and you wash it around in your mouth. He's like, you just wet your mouth and you don't drink the whole drink. You're untying my shoe, tiny goatie. What are you doing?
You know, for not being bottle babies, they sure did turn out pretty personable.
I've really been loving on these guys.
Well, they've also been trying to steal the bottles from the Stivers goats.
I know.
Look, he's like, give me a bottle.
Yeah, no, none for you. So anyway, aside from their awesome road trip time making, the Stivers are really fun. They have a homestead up in Kentucky, and they are coming down this weekend, and they are getting those 2 bottle baby goats and taking them back with them. They'll be here in just a couple of hours, so y'all get to meet them here in a minute. Hey, little Gabe. Hey, little Gabe. Hey, handsome dude. Oh, there's my van being brought back on a trailer, because that's the other thing that happened today. My van broke down while I was coming home from having to go get my son because the bus route was closed, and then I stopped in to grab something to make for dinner that would be fast because I'd had to go into town, and so I didn't get to do what I was gonna do, and then the van broke down, so I had to get a ride home, and one of our friends went and got the van. Oh, some days, right? Hey, I'm happy. Our property fared well through a storm that could have been a lot worse. We have seen and lived through the damage of much worse as far as a tornado goes. So even whenever I got in the van and the power steering wasn't working, I was like, hey, this could have been a much worse day. And then on the way home, whenever I couldn't get home because all the roads were flooded, when it took 3 times as long as it should have, I was still like, hey, this could have been a much worse day. We got lots of little branches down back here, but nothing major. Oh, definitely could have been much worse. Did you enjoy the stormy day, little Clem? Clementine? Fanny girl, did you enjoy the stormy day? Were y'all singing in the rain? You were, weren't you? Those of you who are asking on our vlog the other day what kind of pigs we have, they're called Mangalitsa's. And yes, they have curly hair. They do not feel like sheep. It feels like pig hair. It's very coarse. But they are lard pigs. We have these 3 as a breeding trio. We're planning on breeding these, but they are raised for meat. These are, oh goodness. These are not meat because they're breeders, but that is the eventual plan, is to raise pigs for meat. And we were able to get this trio from a family up in Missouri about 6 months ago, and we really enjoy them. This is our first time getting into pigs, really, and breeding these. You know, it's gonna be a new venture, which we're not quite ready to do yet. We did not plant the kids' garden today because of the storm and the rain, but that will probably be on the to-do list for tomorrow, to get that planted and all in so it can start growing, especially the seeded stuff I want to get in so they can have their garden coming up sooner rather than later. Our friends are here. Here? Hey!
We made it!
Come in! Alright, we're here visiting with the Stivers.
Hey.
They got to feed their baby goats tonight.
Yes, it was beautiful. Wyatt got to help.
Do you like your new baby goats, Wyatt? Yeah. We're having a really good time hanging out. You guys will get to know the Stivers a little bit more tomorrow, but as for right now, we are about to call it a night. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. God bless you. Until next time.